What's going on, everyone? It's Chris here for Friendly Frenzy Games, and today I'm going to walk you through how each of the puzzles work in Escape Simulator's Divination Towers, and also show you how to solve them. If this video helps you, be sure to give it a like and drop us a question or comment if you have one. While you're here, consider subscribing to Friendly Frenzy Games for much more gaming content. Now let's get into it. So the first puzzle that we're going to want to tackle in this room is the one directly in front of us here, and it is for animal runes. What we're going to need to solve this puzzle are the 3 teacups here, the blue teacups. You can see they have the clue marker on them, and we also need this animal runes node here. So just giving this a quick look, deciphering animal runes, what we're going to need to do is figure out the inner symbol. So this is based on the creature's environment, and the outer ring is going to let us know or we're going to figure out based on the number of legs. Now this is going to make more sense. I'm going to pin this clue really quickly just so we can use it for reference. And what we're going to want to do is we can see that we have a creature in here. Obviously it's a bird with 2 legs, so that would be our air or flying, and 2 legs is going to be kind of 2 sticks here on the outside of the circle. To let us know what position this is in our combination, we just need to flip the cup over here, so it's almost like a little sunburst thing. So let's go ahead. That is the last in our combination here. So it is going to be an upright triangle with 2 sticks right there. Perfect. Okay, so that was 1 cup here. We now have an octopus, obviously, with 8 legs, and that is our water or aquatic. So it's going to be an inverted triangle with 8 legs, or sorry, 8 sticks there, and it is going to be the flower symbol, which is the 2nd position in our lock here. So let's find the inverted triangle with 8 right there. Perfect. And our last one here is a wolf or a dog, obviously 4 legs, and it is earth or land bearing, and it's a similar flower, but we know it's our first combination here, or the first spot in the lock. So we need a square and we need 4 sticks. That should be about it. Let's hit the buzzer here, and we get our first star pin. Gonna unpin this clue and just drop these guys real quick so we can kind of keep our inventory nice and clean. Gonna pick this star pin up, but we're not actually gonna need it till later. Let's figure out what our next puzzle is. So just going in through here, you can see we've got another puzzle here that you can see some of the crystal balls just thrown across the room here. Might as well tackle this one really quickly so you can see that each one of these crystal balls has a different base to it, and we have some symbols here. So let's start with the one right behind us. It's got some extra finials and stuff on its base, and what you want to do is line those particles up inside, and it'll give you a symbol to look for here. So this is almost like the arrowhead of like a bow and arrow. That, the more ornate base, is just our middle combination here, and here's the symbol that we found in that one. This one here doesn't really have, it's got a thicker base but no real legs. It's a circle with a down arrow, and that is the first position in this lock, so we can go ahead and click through to find that. This one right here, and then obviously our last one here. I'm going to try and line this up, and we can see that we get a symbol there, so it's a circle with 3 lines through it. We can put this in, and that should be all good. So just like that, we've got our 2nd star pin already. Perfect. Now what we're going to need to do is solve this star lock here. And how you do that is if you look outside here, you can see that there's stars falling in the sky. We've got 2 on our left side. That is going to be our first number here. So on the left side of this combination, that is going to be 2 stars fell, so our first number is 2. We'll wait for that to respawn here, this middle number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the number on the right is 5. We can go ahead and plug that in. Missed the middle again, but we'll just wait a quick second. Again, there's our 2 on the left. We'll have our 5 shooting out the right. Now we just need our middle number here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So our middle number will be 7 here for a total combination of 275. As soon as we unlock that, it drops down into a giant kind of magical book here. Now what we're going to need to do with that is just in the drawer underneath that puzzle is a teleporter star that we can basically go in, plug this in, and it is going to activate this teleportation pad and send us actually across to the next tower. So we're going to go ahead, do that. We can put this giant book right in front of the map here. Obviously, it's got a nice little convenient place for us to drop this. And now we just basically need to read these instructions. So, to confront the dragon, a weapon he needs after the enemy is defeated in the mountains from his castle, a new reign begins. So those are basically our directions here. We've got 4 little placements on this map. What we need to do, obviously you can see with this book and the grid here, we've also got 4 pieces. The 4 pieces are ultimately what's telling the story. So the story obviously starts with this soldier guy down in the corner here. So as long as you are intersecting this circle, that's going to work. We'll follow up the path here. Obviously he's going to go through the castle, but we don't need to adjust that yet. We need to get him a weapon now. So our second circle here is going to be the weapon here. So we have to move this around so that we actually get the sword into that circle. That's fine. That works. The next one, we know he's taking the weapon to defeat the enemy. The enemy, obviously, in this case, is the dragon. So let's get that up into the 3rd spot. Past it a little bit here. He's got to be up in this top corner. And that activated already because we had our castle in the correct spot also. Obviously, the castle being the last destination on this map here. And just like that, we have unlocked a self-writing quill. Now that's going to be something a little bit more important for the next kind of puzzle here, or I guess at the end of the next puzzle. We're going to go ahead, teleport back to this main tower for now. And what we actually need to do here is complete the Palmistry poster. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to pick this up, and we're going to take it back with us across to this side of the tower, because this poster here is going to correlate with this puzzle. And actually, I just realized too that there's one other clue that we need here. We need the book of wizard biographies to complete this as well. So we're going to go ahead, pick that up, come back across to this tower here, and now we have what we need to actually solve this Fergus Grimm Palmistry puzzle. So we're going to go ahead, open this book, and we can pin it. But because we know we're dealing with Fergus Grimm here, let's just give a quick read of what we have. So, prudent with the coin, he was better off than Arthur Bell. So Arthur Bell is right here. Arthur Bell came from a rich wizarding family, but his business decisions left him broke. So obviously he doesn't have that much money. Fergus Grimm was not as rich as Dahlia Owler. Dahlia Owler, despite inventing the repairing spell, she couldn't outshine Laura Bagby in wealth. So Laura Bagby is the richest here, where Dahlia is second richest, Fergus is third, and Arthur is fourth. For Fergus also, his dabbling into dark magic has left him completely alone. His very long life, which has surpassed a century, and his death were caused by dark magic. So let's go ahead, we're going to pin that because there are some vital pieces of information in there. So we know obviously the love line is our top line here. We know that he was completely alone, so we can drag that right down to the bottom in this first position here. Our second line is wealth. We already determined that he was the second richest out of the 4 here. So we can go ahead, drag that into the second position. And our last line is life. So we need to figure out who lived the longest out of all of these. We know that Fergus lived a very long life, which surpassed a century. Okay. Laura Bagby died middle-aged, so he should have outlived Laura. Dahlia, the life of a wizarding celebrity, led her to live in seclusion with her husband. She lived to see her grandchildren grow up. Okay. Arthur Bell lived almost 2 centuries. So Arthur Bell is clearly the oldest, whereas Fergus would be second oldest, and then Dahlia, and then Laura. So knowing that, we know that him being the second oldest would put him basically third along this line here, second from the top. So we know now that we have our lines correct, or they should be correct. We need one more thing here, and it's actually just this palmistry ring. Now you can see that it's lighting up some symbols here. What this clue is telling us is it is the kind of east side of the circle quadrant thing here. So the east side is like this kind of 69 symbol. We're going to just drag the ring, find the 69 symbol on these fingers here, and it's going to be just the top of the middle finger. And that is going to unlock now our sphere of symbols. And now what you're going to need to do with this, and I'm going to just pop back to the other tower to show you, this lock combination right here is obviously what we're looking to do, or what we're looking to get. So we've got a square, a circle, a hexagon, and a triangle symbol. So let's pop back into this, knowing what we have here. So we have, again, I said we have a circle, we have a square, a hexagon, and a triangle. But what you're going to need to do actually is find the combination that strings them all together in that same order. So you can see here, again, I said we have a square, a circle, a hexagon, and a triangle. That's the order that was written on the combination log, so we know that our combination must be 4, 2, 1, and 8. Go ahead, pop back to that first tower, put 4, 2, 1, 8 into this combination here, and it should pop 4, 2, 1, 8. And it does, just like that, that unlocks. So I can go ahead and get rid of those. We've got 3 tarot cards in here. Don't need anything else in there. What we're going to need to do is just on this board. You can see we've got another 2 tarot cards just on this board. And now we're going to need to drag and drop these to put together a picture. So let's just lay all the cards out on the table and see what we're working with here. Obviously we can see that the picture looks somewhat complete, but it's not quite there yet. So let's just kind of drag and drop. See if we can build this out a little better. Okay, that looks good. That is last, I guess. So here's our picture, and now we get a 4 or a 5-digit code. So 41725. Knowing that, we can go ahead and put that into the Palmistry combination right into the middle of this divination tower. So 41725. And that unlocks yet another star pin for us. And while we're on this side of the tower, just so we don't have to come back, where'd that go? I'm going to grab this unfinished note, and that is because the quill that we got from doing that storybook puzzle, we can just drag and drop the quill. You can see it's got the little logo here, and this is going to help us in a puzzle towards the end of this room. So we'll keep that for now. I dropped the quill but brought the note. Now what we have to do with these star pins and star pin connectors, you can see that the connectors are the ones that actually emit the light, and the connectors just kind of distribute light throughout it. So we have 3 circles up at the top here. It's because we need to recreate 3 shapes using this pegboard. What shapes do we need to recreate? Just the constellations outside of here. So we can go ahead, we can do our first one. It's basically like a Y or like a fork. So we need to figure out how to distribute the lights to be able to recreate that. So I've put our 2 connectors right back to back. You can see because it's going to draw power from all of these here. We've got to keep the lines nice and clear, otherwise it's not going to work. So if we have our 2 connectors together and then just have them all sprouting off the top of this first one here, you can see we've got our first one connected already, which is nice and clean. Now there's another shape that's somewhat similar to this. We're going to leave the shovel kind of shape alone for a second. We're going to go ahead. You can see we've already got basically the Y pattern down. We just need to go through and switch where this one is and this is, and then add a little bit of a tail there. So we'll go ahead and we can pull this down for now. I'm going to add this to the side and this underneath, and that now is our second constellation. It's almost like a little slingshot or something there. And now we just need to make this little shovel piece. So how we can do that is just, we have our connector here. We can add our other connector here. We need to make it a little bit of a tail, and then add these guys on either side, and you can see just like that we've got our shovel. So those are all lit up. Now we unlock a pendulum crystal. This is going to be for our pendulum puzzle, and actually I forgot one more clue. is just this Pendulum Divination poster. So bringing this across, and I'll show you how this next puzzle works really quickly. Basically what this is going to do is once we put a tower into the slot here, this is going to count out our number and for the respective tower. So if it moves in, that counts as 1. If it goes around in a circle, that counts as 5. So we have to kind of piece this together right now. The first things first, though, I like to just lower all of these towers so we can clearly see what we're working with. You can't get them lower than 1, so we know that's kind of like a baseline here, but let's just start and go from right to left. Now looking at these towers, there's only one with open windows, and same with our diagram on the bottom here, there's really only one tower with open windows, which is this one. So we can go ahead and put it into the slot where it's going to be evaluated here, and we can just wait for this to reset. 1, 2, 3. So we know that this is going to be at our 3rd height. Our next tower here has a lot of windows in its middle section, and it's got a lot of windows up in its top section as well. So there's this tower here that looks pretty similar, and there is this one as well, but it doesn't have any of the roof windows. So we can go ahead and drag this one into the evaluation slot and watch the pendulum counter. 1. So okay, so it just clicked 1 time. So we can leave that at 1. That's nice and easy. Our next tower here is kind of simple with minimal windows here. So it looks like probably this one. There are 2 of them, but we know it doesn't have a flag on the top. So we can drag this one in. 5, 6, 7. So it did a circle and then clicked in twice. So that's going to give us 7 for this one here. Drag that up. Obviously with Roman numerals, we're looking for V and then 1, 1. Or I guess. Our last tower here has more windows than our simple one, but less windows than our complex one, which are going to be these greeny ones here. Really the only difference is it either has windows in its top part or it doesn't have windows in its top part. This one, obviously, we can see that it does. So let's go ahead, drag this one into the evaluation slot here. And watch this one. 5. So it just does a circle, it doesn't click in at all, so we know that this is going to be 5 at V, and just like that, we have solved this puzzle. What that's going to do is, we didn't notice probably before that there were keys flying around the top of this room, that basically like EMP'd this whole room and dropped all of these keys. So we can get rid of this Pendulum Divination note right now, and this is where this unfinished key note is going to come in handy. So for our final door lock here, we have a series of 4 keys, and reading this clue, the top key has to glow in the shadows, our right key repels other keys, our bottom key bounces when thrown, and our left key wiggles when touched. So I'm going to go ahead, we'll pick up all of these keys for now off the floor. So we've got 6 keys. What we need to do is figure out which is which. So we can see that just in actually my just in the toolbar at the bottom there, you can see the key that we have in number 2. So this key right here is glowing blue, whereas all the other keys are gold or like a rusted bronze. So you can see that that one changes color in our toolbar. So we know that that very likely is the one that glows in the shadows. So that's our top key right there. We need to find a key that repels other keys, so maybe it makes the most sense to drop all of these keys. Okay, that looks like it repels. I don't know if there's going to be any other keys. Likely not. That one's going to repel our key, so that is our far right key. Now we need to find a key that bounces when thrown, so let's throw these keys. That didn't really bounce. That didn't really bounce. That one very clearly does bounce, so that is going to be our bottom key. And we need a key that wiggles when touched. So let's pick these all up again. That doesn't seem to do anything. And that's definitely the wiggler right there. Oh, I put the key in the wrong spot. Okay. And then this here, this star key, is the wiggle key. And just like that, you guys, we have escaped the Divination Towers in Escape Simulator's newest paid DLC, the Magic DLC. If you like this video, give it a like. Hopefully you learned something. Maybe you were entertained. If you're like us and really like to understand how the puzzles work, along with how they get solved, subscribe to Friendly Frenzy Games for much more Escape Simulator content, full walkthroughs, puzzle solves, and guides. Hope to see you all in the next episode. Have a great day, everybody.